Alright, hi there, welcome back to TechMan. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a calculator from scratch. Let's start. Open your favorite text editor. I will use VS Code. So if you're on VS Code, press Shift 1, then Tab. This will give you the basic HTML structure. So I will give the title Smart Calculator. After that, I will go to the body where I will create a div with the class name of calculator. Inside this div, I will create another div with the class name of buttons. Inside buttons, I will create all the necessary buttons for our calculator. So let's create all the buttons one by one. Modulus button. After that, button with the class name of operator for operators. The first operator will be the division. So how do we get the division? On Windows, we click Windows button plus dot. Windows button and dot. And after clicking that, we'll see here this one, symbols. We'll click in the symbols. From the symbols, we will click the division symbol. Alright, so class will be operator for all operators. So again Windows dot and then multiply. In between division sign and multiplication sign, we'll add buttons for button will be 7. We'll copy this 3 times, another 2 times. For the digit 7, 8, and 9. After multiplication, we will copy these 3 and then 4, 5, and 6. We'll copy the digits here and then we'll add 4, 5, and 6. After that, we will add the minus operator. So the class will be operator. This will be minus, or we can find it from here, symbols and then minus. Okay. We click enter after minus operator. We'll copy this one again, the digits, and then paste below minus operator. Then we will change to 1, 2, and 3. After that, we'll add the plus operator. The class will be same operator. And then again, we'll click Windows key plus dot, and then click on the symbol, and we will search here. Okay, the plus operator. After this plus operator, we will add 0. Button, the class will be zero and will be 0. After that, there will be another button which will be dot. And then there will be another button for equal. So button, the class will be equal, and then the sign will be equal sign. So after this, let's save it as index.html and try it out. Double click here. So far, this is what we have. This is what we have so far. So let's go again and let's style our HTML first. So we will start with the body first. First, we'll create a style tag. Here we will have a body. In the body, we'll add a background. You can choose any background of your choice. I will add something closer to black. and then display will be flex, justify, content, center, height. After that, align items, center, height will be 100 viewport height. The font family will be, you can give anything. I will choose this one and delete this from here. Alright, now we will call the calculator, this one, calculator diff, and we'll add some styling here. Let's add a background. The background will be 1E, 1E, 1E. Alright, and then we'll add padding. The padding will be 25px. And then we'll add border radius. Border radius will be 50px. We'll add box shadow. The color will be black. And then the width. The width will be 340 px. Let's give it 340. Alright. Alright, before moving forward, let's add another div here, which will be div with the class name of display, and ID also will be display, where we will display the result. Initially, the value here will be 0. Now save it and let's check here how does it look. Alright, so far this is what we have. After this, let's go again, let's style our display class. Let's call the display class here display display, and then add a background. The background will be 2B, 2B, 2B. This will be the color somewhat closer to gray maybe. Alright, let's see. The text color will be white. The code is this, and then the font size. The font size will be, let's give a padding 20px. You can give less according to your needs. Then border radius will be 10px. Margin bottom will be 15px. Text align will be right. Word wrap, break word. Alright. After that, it's time for our buttons. Let's call the buttons. Remember, we have a class name named like buttons. Buttons. We will call this class by typing dot buttons. And then the display here will be display grid. Columns, repeat, 4, 1, 5. Alright, the gap will be 10px. Let's see how does it look. Okay, so far so good. This is how it looks now. So now okay, let's go ahead and complete our styling. So we will create overall styling for our button. So we'll just write button and then padding. We'll give a padding 20px. After that, we will give a font size to these buttons, which will be 1.2 rem. And then we'll set border to none. And then we'll set border radius. Border radius will be 10px. Let's set a background. After background, let's set a color. Color will be white. Then let's set transition. Background 0.2s. Cursor will be pointer. Let's go. Let's add styling for hover on button. So this is how we do styling for hover. So we'll change the background. Background will be hash 444. And then let's style our operators. So the operator background will be 9500. Alright, then the operator hover will be, we'll change the background on hover, the background. And then also, right, let's change the color for the operator hover. Alright, somewhat closer to the color before hover. Let's style equal sign. The equal sign will be, the background will be 288.745, okay, and then the hover will be, okay, let's add grid column here. Grid column will be span 2, and then let's add the hover for equal sign 218838. Alright, somewhat darker than the previous color. Okay, let's style, remember we have a class clear. Let's style our clear class here. Call the class with dot clear, then curly braces, then add a background color. The background will be DC 3545. Alright, somewhat kind of danger button, danger color, which is red. Then add a hover style. This is how we add it. Inside the bracket we'll add a background color. The background color will be hash C82333, a little bit darker. Then we will style the 0 class. We'll add grid column span 2. Now let's see if our style is working. Let's go and then refresh. Okay, so far this is how it looks. For now it does not have any functionalities in this buttons. You see the buttons, the hover is working, everything is working fine without any functionality, nothing is showing here. So let's go add our JavaScript in the code so that it works fine. So to add our JavaScript, we will go down here and we will add a script tag. Script. Okay, this is the script tag. And then let's add a constant. Const display is equal to document.get element by ID. The ID, remember we have an ID here. So this is used to interact by JavaScript. So JavaScript use the ID to interact with the document. So we will, yeah, ID will be display. After that, let's create a function. The function name will be append, and then inside this we will have a parameter like this, value, and then curly braces. Let's create if-else statement for this. If display.text content triple equal absolutely equal 0, and this is AND operator. This is how we use AND. Value is not equal dot. In this statement, inside curly braces, we will display dot change the text content to value. Else, we will also create an else statement. Let's create an else statement. Display dot text content plus equal value. Alright, save this, and then we'll create a function for clear display. Function clear display. Alright, we'll access the display variable display dot text content is equal to 0. When we clear display, we just change it to 0. All right, let's create function for delete last. That means when we input digits, we have a wrong digit, we want to delete the digit that was the last digit or that was wrong input. So how do we create function? Let's name it delete last. After that, curly braces, inside curly braces, we will display dot text content is equal to display dot text content. We will use slice. So dot slice 0 minus 1, or the OR operator is written like this, or 0. Okay, that's all. Control save. And then let's create a function for calculating. Let's create a function and we name it calculate. Then we will use a try catch function here. Let's try curly braces and then catch. This is how it is written. So inside the try we will create a variable named expression, which will set to the display dot text content dot replace to /. We'll replace the division symbol to /, and then we will replace the multiplication symbol to star symbol. We'll access Windows dot like this, and then star symbol. After that, we'll create another variable let result. We'll use eval expression, and then display will change the display result to the result variable. Change content is equal to result. In this function, we will use inside the curly braces display text content is equal to error. Alright, in case of any error happens. Alright. Then let's go to, first let's check if there is any changes. Save this and then see. Okay, let's check. Alright, that's not working. Why? Because we did not add this function to our buttons. We just only created the functions here, but that we did not call the functions in the buttons. So let's call the functions here in our buttons. Let's start with first one. How do we call the functions here? So there's JavaScript way. There's a way to add functions, JavaScript functions in your HTML. That is like event listener. So when you click, this is on click. On click is an event listener. So inside on click, you will call your function that you just created. So for all, we will call the functions that we just created on click. Here we will append the value. We'll put a value inside. The value will be the percentage sign modulus, and then here on click append, the value will be this one, /. We'll just copy this and then paste it in all our buttons here, and then here, and then here, also here. All right. Here as well, and then here as well. So we will change it to dot, this one to 0, and then this one to plus 3, 2, 1, 6. All right. We'll call here the function that we created to calculate. So this one. So we'll call the calculate function in this line. So make sure when we call the function, we must add this parenthesis. We should never forget the parenthesis while we add even listener functions here. So let's try Control S, and then let's go to our browser here, and then refresh. Let's try. Okay, let's try. These buttons are working. Delete 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then okay, delete all is working. These functions, these are working. Okay, good. So let's try to calculate. 7 into 2 equal to a. The calculation is not working. So let's see what happened with the calculation. What did we forget? Alright, there was a small mistake in the operators. For that reason, I believe the calculation was not working properly. Let's, yeah, here, you see, the operator is forward slash, but this should be a star here for multiplication, and then this should be a minus sign for subtraction. So let's save it again. Let's try our code. Yep, now it's working fine. Let's try subtraction, minus 6. Okay, let's try 6 minus 7. Yeah, minus 1. Let's try 8 into 6 into 2, 96. Alright, so let's try modulus. Okay, error because I put modulus first. Let's try modulus by 3. Alright, 2. Because the remainder is 2. Alright, that's how you create a basic calculator using JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. See you in the next video. Feel free to follow and subscribe.